10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, another smooth start to another episode of us here on Skeptic Spin. I'm your host today, Justin. Over here on the side, hyper excited, Spin Dr. Mike. How's it going today there, Spin Dr. Mike?
It's going okay. It's going as good as it could be. So I'm ready. I'm ready to have some fun.
Awesome. I'm also in a real good mood, real excited. We got a really good show coming up here. And I also like when I start the live stream and I start to see the viewer numbers actively moving in an upward trajectory, which means people are starting to catch on that, like, we're not online for long. When we go live stream, we're all about get the show on, have the fun, and get out and get on with the rest of our day. So it's nice to see all of you who are already here, like Tyler. So thanks for showing up on time. Mike, your headline underneath today: wherever you go, you will always be there. That was always one of my favorite ones.
Yes. You know what it's from?
No.
It's from Buckaroo Banzai, the movie Buckaroo Banzai and the Fifth Dimension, whatever the movie was called. But yeah, because he's a rock star and he's up on stage. Like, he's a many things: rock star, scientist, superhero, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's why it's so ridiculous. But yeah, he's up on stage and he just randomly goes up to the mic and goes, "Remember, wherever you go, you'll always be there." And it's just one of those ridiculous lines.
It sounds so incredibly deep, and yet it's absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly. So it just always stuck with me. So shout out to Buckaroo Banzai.
All right.
It's on everybody's must watch list now. You must search out the movie by next week and watch and send us some comments about it.
Awesome. Yeah. I always got some great lines from you, such as that one too, working together in the past. Like, one of my favorite ones to still do now is when you see someone in your peripheral vision start to approach, and you just tell everyone at the table or wherever you're at shh, don't say nothing. Here they come. Like, just loud enough so they hear you. That was fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, our guest tonight, Mark Reid. Are you familiar with Mark Reid, Mike?
I am not. Please tell. Right. Please do tell. Please do tell.
Well, he's got a great channel called Mark Reid Atheism over here on the YouTubes. He does all kinds of really fun shows, such as my personal favorites are the Mark Room Raids, where he visits other channels and challenges their crazy ideas, frankly. And he's got a lot of other little programs that he does. He does one with another YouTuber who I love, and we'll have over here soon enough, Ember, where they will watch debates and react and comment on them. And yeah, it's really, really good stuff. He's really good at science communication, and all around, just he'll debate anybody on everything from flat Earth to apologetics. So he's really strong in all of those avenues. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Mark Reid, why don't we just have a taste right now?
Oh, please.
Right. So I in no way would condone anybody putting any belief system in by force. I will speak about it and try to convince people that secular humanism is the best way to treat other human beings. Right, but so that doesn't mean you have to... Yeah, thanks for interrupting again, Jungle Jargon. Just feel free to mute yourself. That doesn't mean that That doesn't mean that I think that you have to.
Evolution.
Wow, this guy.
No, Jungle. Let him talk.
Yeah, let me talk.
Enough.
Yeah,
let him talk.
Every time I try to explain something, that doesn't mean that I in any way condone implementing anything I believe by force, and that doesn't mean that people have to believe me. I just believe that I should be or ought to be allowed to articulate and talk about what I think the best moral system is, and people can believe me or not.
And there it is. My great friend Mark Reid. So everyone, here he comes. Oh, I just heard him open the door. He's coming over. There he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Yeah, good. Just got up, but yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. I hope you guys are well. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you've had a good day. I guess past tense is good. Yeah, I don't help but notice that the title of this thing has changed. It used to be like do you need God to be good? And now it's exploring atheism, which I'm up for anything, to be honest with you. But like, I can't. Did we have a last minute change or something?
Not that I know of. It's possible. I mean, StreamYard was acting very strange for me today. As I was explaining to Mike, like when I came on StreamYard earlier as well, there was some glitches going on. So I don't I did change or add the description. Apparently the description didn't get added properly originally. But I don't remember changing the actual title. I don't know. Does it matter? It's a generic title that I just put up there anyways.
Doesn't matter in the slightest, to be honest with you. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. It's not a problem.
Yeah, so Mark, the Aussie over on the southern hemisphere, how's the weather over there?
Yeah, getting hotter. It's a bit of a worry. It's getting a bit hot for this time of year. It's probably going to be, as we call it over here, a scorcher. So yeah, which is not great, with global warming and all
Actually,
that.
It's getting cold here earlier than it has been in recent history, I think.
I agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
Woke up this morning at -1 Celsius already for October, so which used to be the norm. I remember October would get pretty cold around Halloween and stuff. But we haven't had that in a while, so it could be a long cold winter this year for us. But something that I've recently learned is that in Australia, you guys have also embraced Halloween, and I guess it's not it's still a fairly new thing, is it not?
It depends. Some families do sort of trick or treating, but it's not big. Like it's to be honest with you, Halloween is more about sort of young adults getting dressed up and going and having parties. That's really what it's about. So I'm not sure. I don't know how it differs over in the US or Canada or whatever, but you probably won't see kids roaming the streets trick or treating and stuff. Not unless it's like in a outer suburb or something like that. It's very rare, but you will see like a lot of people dressed as zombies going to a party or something. Yeah.
Okay, so it's more of just an excuse to get all costumed up and just go celebrate on your own and do whatever.
Yeah.
So if you knocked on a stranger's door in Australia on October 31st, would there be candy for you?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Awesome. All right. So your most recent debate, I think that I was able to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you recently debated Iron Horse on a flat Earth topic.
Yeah.
I was actually a little bit surprised to see you debating Iron Horse, but nice to see you debating again nonetheless.
Yeah. It's like getting debates is very, very difficult. I've sent out like a lot of emails. It's very strange because I'm the one sending out emails, but people are like, "Oh, you're a coward and you won't debate this." It's like, well, I'm the one. Like a lot of people will come into chat or be in chat at the show and go, "Oh, debate me," and it's like, sure, just send me an email, but I never get them. They never seem to make it through for some reason. So,
I'm trying to set up some debates for as many people as I can. I'm finding it difficult to find opponents, right? Like people that are willing to come and defend their positions on different things. I'm trying to avoid the flat Earth debates if I can. But yeah, I got Octavio again coming in November to debate Grayson here on the channel, so that'll be fun on evolution. I think Octavio might have some friends that might also be decent people to have and come debate. So the debate
was quite
in Octavio was pretty good, I felt.
Yeah, he was good. He was not he was engaged well. I of course didn't agree with him, but that's fine. He conducted himself in a reasonable way. I was pretty happy with Octavia. He was no Iron Horse, let's put it that way.
Iron Horse is scary. Like you don't know what he's gonna say, and
or do.
Yeah, he's unhinged.
I don't get how he managed to stay on Modern Day Debate after the entire hung like a horse debacle.
So this guy we're talking about, it's been Dr. Mike Iron Horse. He's a flat earther.
Okay.
But he's not a very polite one. He will say some horrible stuff. And you never know when he's going to. So it's very sketchy to engage with him on any topic because you don't know what kind of racist, weird crap he's going to just hurl. And yeah. So
he sounds delicious.
Yeah.
He can be fine sometimes, but he'll just run into and he gets very, very mean. He's a very mean person upon occasion. So he said some horrible things about me. He said horrible things. He's banned from the Modern Day Debate Discord. He's banned from almost every single Discord you could care to name, just because he gets into these alcohol-fueled moods that he gets absolutely nasty, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Cognitive Echo, how are you? Thanks for joining us. And hey, we got D Murphy from the Stacey's Mom podcast in the chat. She's all excited that she's here. She's right on time. So why don't we move on over to the tableau then, Mark? Are you sufficiently awake yet?
I'm fairly awake.
Yes. Brain?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm as good as I'm ever going to be. So yeah.
Let's get the tableau up.
Hey, I'm
here.
big.
Yeah. I've been playing around with our little layout here and decided to get a little bit more full screen instead of just a bunch of talking heads and too much background. So, but yeah, there's the tableau that I've constructed specifically for you today.
What a flow chart.
Yeah. So, the new tableau, you haven't seen it. We now call it triple take, and we flow from the top words down. So there's no need to have you needlessly and meaninglessly select which one we're going to watch first. Instead, though, in order to have a little bit of fun, I do AI generate these images that I put on top of these YouTube shorts. And if you would like, would you care to wager a guess as to what could possibly be behind the first?
I'm going to create a story out of these. I'm going to say God does science, reverses his age, unfortunately, and becomes young, forcing him to trick or treat. And through this trauma, he becomes, he reaches nirvana. I don't know.
So you've just combined all three of them to make a narrative.
Yes.
Hilarious. Jason Freer, hey, thanks for coming. So Jason from BajaCon also here to join us. So that's great. I love it when the guests from our previous episodes show up. Yeah, right there, Mark.
Just tried to breathe my coffee. That's all right.
It's okay.
It's not a good thing.
Don't do that. All right.
Actually, I do. I kind of agree with Tyler in the chat. I don't know. So really, if we're talking about people who debate and are mean and nasty kind of thing, So Craig or Fight Flat Earth can be very, very nasty as well to people. I wouldn't do that. People have different styles of what they do. I don't think there's any room for it in the debate. They disagree. I just, don't really hang out. I prefer MC Toon, who's very good, and he doesn't get nasty and mean. I think he's way better.
All right. Well, if you're ready, Mark. Hey, Pragmatic Crystal, thanks for showing. If you're ready, Mark, let's get on to the first short.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've never been. My body is ready. My mind is ready. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Check this video out with me because they did a scientific study on what.
Oh no, are we gonna do this again? I swear I tested all of this before. Let's just give it a second. I don't know why it does this.
Happens when you read the Bible.
Study of what actually happens to you when you read the Bible. The study was done on people ages 8 to 80. On days 1 and 2, there wasn't much of a difference, but on day 3, they started noticing a change. Here are the stats of what actually happened when the people read the Bible 4 times a week or more. Loneliness went down 30%. Bitterness went down 43%. Anger went down 32%. Alcoholism went down 42%, and watching pornography went down 60%.
For more Christian content and daily devotions, subscribe now.
Well, there you go, Mark.
Oh,
Stuff in the Bible and came up with numbers.
I would like to see that the scientific study. So number one, we really should have a control group, sort of people not reading the Bible and just reading self-help books or something, right? Just something else than the Bible. And I really would like to see that study, sort of 4 times a week reading the Bible.
You're so sweet and assuming that study even took place.
Well, so there's things we call like lurking variables, for instance, right? So the thing is, right, if you're reading the Bible, you're not doing anything else. So watching pornography went down, for instance. It's like, well, hang on a second. If you went out and played softball, watching pornography would also go down. You know what I mean? Like, we've got these lurking variables in there that say, hey, that wouldn't be unusual, but that's not the Bible. That's getting off the computer and go touch grass would do exactly the same thing, right? So we've got all of these things where, if these people are, like, we know that going and doing something else will help with any substance dependence, like alcoholism. Like, if you go out and have a hobby, whether that's whittling or going out and socializing, someplace like a sports event where there is no alcohol, like Little League or something, it's going to help with that. You're not going to, as opposed to going to the pub or something. Of course it's going to go down. Like, come on now. That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard.
How about that loneliness stat? Because, like, if you're reading the Bible, wouldn't you do so alone generally?
Well, God is with you now. No, God is with you now.
But that's
You're
the
never
question.
alone.
Are they reading the Bible alone, or are they doing Bible studies?
Okay.
Right. So if they're doing Bible studies and their loneliness is going down, it's like, well, yeah. So, that's something I would like to see, because that's hilarious. Or you're right, even if it exists. But in my experience of apologists, they will have a study, but the study will say nothing even remotely close to the conclusion they make. And usually what they say it says is opposite to what it actually says. So I have no doubt that they got it from a study or a scientific article or something they've actually read and interpreted it to mean the Bible is responsible for all this stuff. What's funny is going back and comparing the two things that the study actually says, or the article, the scientific article actually says, and what they're saying. And that's where it's funny, because, funniest one, I mentioned this the other day, the funniest one that I ever saw was that somebody said that it could be possible that dinosaurs were fire-breathing dragons because it's possible they breathed fire. And I sort of inquiring said, like, there is no way that any animal could ever breathe fire. That's impossible. And they're like, I have a study saying that it's possible. And so I got them to send it through, and it actually was a study ruling out all of the different ways it could be possible, and concluded there is no way any dinosaur could ever breathe fire. And they thought it was a study on all the ways it could have been possible.
They read the headline and they're like, oh, they studied it, so it must have been possible.
Well, they kind of knew about the different ways that they said, oh, it could be sort of a chemical reaction, because there's bombardier beetles kind of thing, like they have chemicals that mix up into a very scalding hot thing. Problem is that they have an exoskeleton to be able to handle that kind of thing, whereas animals can never have that for various reasons. But they read the different ways, so they knew about the different ways. They just didn't read where it says why that's absolutely and utterly impossible for an animal to have,
What did you think, Mike?
Well, there's always time for porn. Well, the fact that that's a category, so that it went down 60%. What's their 100% of their group was watching porn? Like before they started reading the Bible?
How much was 100% of porn?
Yeah, like, just as a category.
You gotta wonder whether that's applied to the group or an individual. Like, did each individual watch 60% less porn, or was there like few people that went no more porn, and one person is like, no, I will die on that porn hill, I am never giving it up, kind of thing.
I mean,
I'll take one for the team.
If the categories that they were listing off as an improvement in personal well-being because they read the Bible, I would say that orgies would have all of these exact same numbers and probably better. So maybe orgies are better than the Bible, because that'll improve that'll be a lot less loneliness. You wouldn't need the porn. You're in it.
Yeah.
You're you don't have time to drink. You're too busy sweating.
Exactly.
I mean,
you gotta stay in shape. That's a dehydration nightmare.
And if you're angry at an orgy, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, why are you angry at an orgy?
Just having angry sex. Yeah, that's just hate fucking somebody.
I don't know. It's like stats. Like, whatever.
Yeah, they're pretty random. Also, the sample size too, right? They had 8 and 80-year-olds.
Yeah, 8 to 80.
But that's such a huge demographic of people that in order for you to even get a decent sample size to call this a study, you would need like 1,000 at least of every age group almost.
Well, yeah, like, so sample size generally 300 is the accepted for something to be statistically.
Because you would need 300 of every age group then in order to call that.
Not really for a generalized statement, but they probably read like I'm wondering what porn an 80-year-old is watching.
Or an 8-year-old.
Or an 8-year-old.
Or an 8-year-old, right.
Yeah. And which one had more teeth in it?
It probably is something like, just getting out and being active reduces loneliness, all of these different things. And that includes religion. Sure. Yeah. I'm willing to believe that, if you're a shut-in like me and you go out and, participate in Bible studies, that all of these things happen. Yeah. But there's, whether that is the Bible or whether it is just getting out and being active, that's my point. Like, yeah.
All right. Well, let's check out our next short, and I promise there won't be any more weird statistics.
I like statistics. Statistics are useful. So here's the thing. Hang on, just one sec.
And I want to talk about that.
Hold on. Okay. Sorry.
People that hate statistics are really useful because we do know there's the law of large numbers, which means that the bigger the sample size, the faster you approach the actual true value. We know this. The problem is that there's a lot of what's called p-hacking in it. So you're hacking the probability, you're changing the probability to sort of make bullshit like this. And there's a lot of that going on. But that does, just because a tool is used improperly doesn't mean it's not really useful when used properly. I really want to stress this because people are, statistics are all bullshit. That's not true. It's absolutely not true. It's just a lot of people use them to shovel crap, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can massage them. Even just the forming of the question on a survey can really lean the results.
Yeah, absolutely.
In your favor. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Sorry, Justin. I just want to add.
That's all right. That's fine. That's fine.
I have to defend statistical data analysis. I have to defend it here. Like,
Well, let's with the Halloween season coming up, this next one is Halloween themed. So let's have a look.
Woohoo!
All right.
Check this video out with me because they did a scientific study on what happens
Oh.
when you read.
That was weird.
Wrong
That
one.
was yeah.
Sorry.
Yo, this is Nate, the disciple, and I want to talk about the Holy Bible, man. I want to talk about everything that's in it. It's a lot of things that we taken for granted. The devil do not want us to know that these things are real. That's why these holidays, like Halloween, is here to try to fool us, to make us think that this stuff is not real. But the Bible is one of the oldest books inside the world, and it talks about aliens. It talks about curses, generational curses, spirits, familiar spirits, witchcraft, demons, devils. They talk about a lot of things, a lot of evil that's going on inside this world right now. Sin, all of this stuff, bro. Halloween is here to distract us from the truth, bro. It's not here to tell us the truth, bro. It's want us to make us think that this stuff is not real. It's all the devil. This is the devil holiday, bro. 100%, man.
So Halloween is the devil's holiday. What do you think, Mark?
I don't know why. So it's really interesting looking back at sort of the role of the devil and Satan in texts and how it's developed over through Judaism into sort of Christianity, because in the old Torah and the sort of Judaic tradition, it kind of the role of the Shaitan is the accuser. So there's a few stories in the Bible that don't make a lot of sense, like Job, where the devil's walking with God and God says, "Oh, there's Job. He would believe even, and the devil goes, well, he only believes because you get good stuff to happen to him." And then God allows Satan to basically just fuck with Job, just destroy his life, kill his children, do all this stuff to him. And that doesn't make a lot of sense when you look at it through a Christian perspective. Like, why is God allowing this? Why is he even hanging out with his arch enemy in the first place? But in the Torah, the devil's actually, he's like God's prosecutor, right? He's like the one that accuses people of not doing right by God. So he's actively working for God in God's sort of, he's the one that goes out and says, hey, you've been unfaithful to God. You've broken God's laws. I accuse you of doing so. And he's doing so with the full permission and encouragement of a God. So it's kind of weird to hear that, where it's like, well, why would, so the devil presumably knows that God's omnipotent. Like, you would wonder how he wouldn't, right? And you would know that, we know that there's according to the Christian tradition, there's a prophecy that Satan would be overthrown and will be cast down and all this kind of stuff. So why bother? If you know that's going to happen according to the Christian tradition, why bother fighting God? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So, this whole thing of, oh, well, he's gonna get people over to his side and convince people that, what's the point? Like, he knows he's going to lose in the end, because he's going to lose at the end, because you keep freaking telling me he's going to lose in the end.
It reminds me very much of that Eddie Murphy movie, Trading Places, where it was just like two dudes making a bet to destroy two people's lives for $1.
Oh, Job. Yeah.
What do you think, Mike? Yeah. Halloween, satanic ritual?
Well, yeah. So, it is. It technically is. So, because it's got its Celtic origins. The reason why you wear costumes it was to hide from the ghosts and the spirits that came alive that one night. Because it's almost like the Day of the Dead, right? Where the living come back to life for one part. So the costumes were part of hiding from the ghosts. So yeah, but
kind of like acting like a zombie inside of a zombie apocalypse.
So exactly. So
well,
I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking about Samhain. I think it's Samhain. Samhain.
Yeah, that's that's the origins of
Yeah.
Halloween. So, and the whole trick or treat thing is the tricks. The ghouls would do the tricks, so the kids would ask for the treat. And then the reason why candy is associated now, it was I looked it up, so that's why I know. It was in the 50s because like kids were getting like baked goods and shit, so it was more to have packaging so parents knew exactly what kids were getting in their Halloween bags when they asked for treats, and it just sort of expanded from there to become, a time-saving, cost-effective way to spend money and make America fatter. But the whole candy thing is more Americanized for sure. But
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is kind of sort of Christianity embracing pagan religious practices to sort of assimilate them into their sort of memory kind of thing. So yeah, Samhain or Samhain, the I think it's a Celtic Day of the Dead was kind of assimilated into it. But the Hallows of Halloween, the Hallows of saints. That's the thing. Like that, it was to remember the saints, basically remember the dead saints that died for us, our religion. That's how Christianity kind of assimilated that ancestor worship or that ancestor respect of Celtic practice into their religion, because Christianity does this all the time. We know that Easter definitely is. It was based upon the goddess Ishtar. Like rabbits and eggs have nothing to do with Jesus, nothing to do with Jesus at all. But they are associated with a pagan goddess Ishtar, to symbolize she was a goddess of rebirth and rejuvenation. So, Christians just took that and went, well, now it's about Jesus again, because everything's about Jesus, apparently.
Yeah. I was trying to find specifically a Halloween themed clip to include, given the times that are coming up. Also trying to there's that other thing going on just south of Mike and I that I was, I enjoy engaging with, but I was trying to let's just try something else for a little bit and talk about something different.
So I just want to do a little Halloween rant here for a moment. So I apologize.
Go, Mike. Yeah,
get back to
and
then we can get back to the real discussion. But Justin, as some of you all know, and Mark, you may know, Justin and I were in the entertainment industry forever. Mm-hmm. We did lots of dances at schools and such, especially on Halloween. Halloween was a big celebration where they were bringing a DJ to do dances. And then we go into these Christian schools and there'd be certain rules about the costume. You weren't allowed to wear this. You weren't allowed to wear that. Yeah. But the one thing that they all were allowed to wear that they could get away with no fucking problem was wearing the poo emoji hat. These children were allowed to wear shit on their head in a Christian school, but they couldn't come dressed as Iron Man.
Yeah. So they were allowed to dress up as a literal shithead, but they weren't allowed. Yeah, okay.
Like
well, you asked me earlier about whether it was big over here, and it really isn't. It really has descended into a way for people to A, cosplay, and B, girls to dress up, as incredibly slutty things and not have any problem with it, kind of thing. Yeah. Which, they just go out and party. I got no problem with it whatsoever. Like, seriously, go for it. Like, have fun. You're young. You're, enjoy. Like, you're going out socializing. That's really what Halloween is used for. Hell, even like older people definitely do it. They get dressed up, go to parties and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
No problem.
I almost ended up with a Bob Larson clip in there, but he was a little. The Halloween clip of Bob Larson was a little bit too on the extreme side for me. Anyone who doesn't know who Bob Larson is, he literally is a YouTuber who goes around curing people of their demon possession. So I found one of Bob Larson going off on Halloween being a day of evil and of demons and stuff, but it was so far left field. I was like, there's no substance here. He's just talking nonsense.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's kind of weird. We have a lot of traditions and rituals and things that are based upon nothing in particular. That things that when we're not even aware of the origin anymore, like the handshake, for instance. Most people don't know where that came from and why people shake hands in the first place. And it actually came from medieval times, where sort of knights always carried the shield in their left hand, right? Because left-handed was evil, being left-handed was unusual. So they would present their hand to show that they had no sword in it, or dagger in it, kind of thing, which is so wild, that we're still doing that today, even though nobody's carrying around daggers
carrying
and
swords.
Yeah, well, I mean, except if you're in some
reenactment.
Right, or
type
you're
scenario.
cosplaying, or you're in a Ren fair or something. But I just nobody's really questioned why we do that.
Yeah. All right. I got one more here, and this one I came across of quite organically, and I was like, "This is unhinged." I was just like, and I saved it just for you, Mark.
Oh, great.
Here we go.
Thank you.
This is crazy. Watch how this doctor breaks down how our bodies point to God.
You flip the human nervous system upside down, it looks like a tree growing out of a seed, bearing the fruit of the heart, which looks suspiciously like a piece of fruit hanging in a tree. That tree growing out of the seed also supports the fruit of the spirit, and the cycle of the seed looks suspiciously like the parable of the sower. 12 pair of cranial nerves to edify the body, controlled by the mind. 12 disciples sent out in pairs to edify the body, controlled by the head. 12 disciples with one removed. 12 tribes with one removed. Adam's 12 pair of ribs with one removed to make Eve. Jesus pierced in his side to bring the church to life. Are you starting to see it? I often wonder why God made me a medical doctor. And then I start to see the gospel in the anatomy and physiology of our body.
If you believe God is amazing, type amen. Subscribe and share.
Yeah, we don't need to hear that part.
It horrifies me. This man's a doctor. It really does. It's like, what fruit does the heart look like?
I think the analogy was that if you turn the human nervous system upside down, that it looks like the roots growing out of a seed.
No, I get that.
And that the heart is hanging from that root system, or that, I don't know.
Well, the heart, everything's connected to the nervous system. The heart's like connected to the cardiovascular system, which doesn't look like a tree growing. No, I don't. What? Yeah, the nervous system, but that's just because that is the most efficient way to sort of get down a body. Like, I don't.
I don't. The video starts with watch how this guy shows how the nervous system points to God. I'm still waiting for
our bodies point to God.
I'm still waiting for that connection. Like, they basically did a lot of like, this kind of looks like this, kind of looks like that, and even if you grant all of that, where's the part that points to God?
Right. And organic things generally they kind of grow the same, like we're and like he says, like 12 ribs with one missing. It's like, we don't have a missing rib.
No.
You're a doctor? Like this used to be a common misconception among Christians. They thought that that men had one less rib than women did. They don't. They just don't. Like, we have the same number of ribs. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a weird one. What did you think, Mike?
I don't know. It just reminded me of that episode of Happy Days where Potsy helps the gang study for their anatomy test when they're in university, and they come up with a song. That's all was running through my head.
They come up with a song. Okay.
Yeah. It's a pumps your blood. It's all about the heart. It was a catchy little ditty. I'm dating myself.
I was
Very old.
just thinking, I wasn't gonna say it, but like, wow,
Yeah.
Mike, date yourself.
That's all right.
Indeed.
It's
Right.
okay.
So
Like, totally cool. I think that we've got a spate of people saying this looks like a thing. It must be the thing.
yes,
This almost gets to. I don't know if you're probably not familiar with them if you're new to the
I
sort of.
I am. Mike probably not, but I know exactly what you're gonna
Right.
say.
Yeah, Mike, you're probably not familiar with it because it's you're sort of seeing this stuff for the first time. But there's a place called Mud Fossil University, where a guy called Roger, he thinks, and I've debated people like this. They see rocks that look like hearts and have maybe a sort of reddish quartz color, and they think they're literal fossilized hearts because of the shape of them. They have none of the aorta or any other cardiovascular tubes attached, but they think that they're hearts and kidneys and things like that because that's what they look like. It's really this phenomena called pareidolia. We look at things and we see other things. It's basically cloud watching. You look at something and it looks like this.
The pancake that looks like Elvis.
Right, exactly. So that's like really what they're doing. They're saying, hey, the nervous system looks like a tree. There's references to trees in the Bible. The heart looks like a fruit of the, there's mentions of fruit in the Bible. And they're just making associations, sort of pattern associations with other people. And we're pattern association beings. That's what we do. We associate patterns because, as science tells us through our evolution, we've had to associate patterns with different things. Like we see a footprint and we've got to know whether that footprint will lead to an antelope or a saber-toothed tiger. Because that's important, right? So we kind of say, well, it looks like an antelope track. We can follow that. Or it looks like a saber-tooth. Let's not follow that one because it leads to bad things. So we're sort of, I don't like to use the word, we're kind of hardwired to see things in other things. The problem is that it's not so useful now where people, look up into the sky, they see a train, it's chemtrails kind of thing.
It's called pareidolia, isn't it?
Yeah, pareidolia. Mostly it's sort of it's mostly associated with seeing faces because for some reason humans are really hardwired to see faces in things, and we notice this all the time. Like we see a car and you're like, hey, that looks like a goofy face on the front of the car because of the way the headlights and the grille are arranged, where we will automatically recognize faces. And even babies do. They will be drawn towards faces in particular. We're not exactly sure. I'm not sure if I know why. Just that's what we do. We find faces in things.
I think it has a small part to do with our ability to with empathy. So the face communicates a lot of emotions, and we can recognize how someone might be feeling by their face. So then when we see faces everywhere because from empathy. I'm not exactly sure either how it all connects, but the Mud Fossil University guy there, Mike, is he what are those rock formations? Are they in Arizona or whatever, like the Devil's Spire or whatever they call it?
Okay.
Those weird rock formations with the flat tops.
Yeah.
He does entire YouTube videos of trying to explain how these used to be tree stumps from the age of the giants, when the giants roamed the earth.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. And the scary part isn't what he's saying, is that he's got tens of thousands of subscribers. So active viewers of people watching him go on and on about how, like, these aren't rock faces, these are ancient tree stumps. Because
and the scariest part about that?
What?
These people vote.
These people are allowed to vote, yeah, maybe we should have a look at him someday. It could be real fun, but
that would be awesome.
Yeah, he can be trippy and entertaining. Yeah, I like when he shows certain buildings that are like on steep. They're constructed on steeper hills or faces and stuff, and he'll point out that, like, look how this window seems to be somewhat covered by the terrain because they put a road in or something like that. It's like, okay, the building is 100 years old and they're trying to build the city up around it, and some things are going to come out looking weird. He's like, no, it's because of a mud flood came through and buried half the building. like, no, that's not what happened.
And that isn't the funniest though. Definitely the funniest is looking at a cave and going that it's a vagina.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's got to be the funniest.
Yeah, this guy makes
I've
a
ever
lot
seen.
of. He makes a lot of. He
Yep.
looks at a lot of stuff, and he'll say
Yep.
weird things like, "Oh, you can tell by the vein formation on this rock. This was an ancient penis." I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the internet,
and
Mike.
actually, the funniest part is that he uses a feather to point to his screen, and the reason why he uses a feather when you understand the background is that he used to point, but he used to like point at his monitor so hard that you get the
the bursting,
LCD, the liquid crystal bursting. Yeah, so people like, dude, you're damaging your monitor. Stop doing that. So instead, he uses a feather to point because he can't help but to it's actually hilarious.
He's a passionate pointer.
Well,
he's very passionate.
He hasn't figured out how to screen share.
Oh,
so he films his screen and points at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to like screen share and use his mouse cursor to point or something. Like,
and he's an educated man. That's a medical doctor, right?
No, that's not the same guy now.
Okay, it's a different dude.
No, this
okay.
is yeah.
Okay.
This is Roger. Yeah.
But what do you got going on? What do you got coming up there, Mark?
Me, I'm working on a project. I don't know if it's going to get off the ground or not, but I wanna do it and give it a try. Apart from that, I do have aimbot, where I basically go through Reddit. Am I the arsehole on Reddit, and apply secular humanism as a moral system to see if it can work in real life, and sort of discuss who's in the right, who's in the wrong from a secular humanist point of view. On Fridays, my Fridays, which is Thursday night Eastern time, I will be doing Fundamentalist Fails again, where I'll go through and find some creationist apologetics that I find interesting and break them down, provide some counter arguments, show how you can sort of push back on all of this nonsense that seems to be pervading our sort of social landscape these days. Apart from that, I'm back on my channel with Ember from another debate dissection on Saturday night Eastern time or Sunday morning my time, which should be fun. We might do another Kent Hovind. We've been picking on Kent Hovind lately because the guy is, he's a lol cow. People seem to like us picking on him because he's a horrible person who should not be allowed a platform. But
Mike was introduced to his "you think you came from a rock" argument last week.
Yeah. Well, that's his shtick. It's basically straw manning something,
and he's been doing it for a long time.
And
that's how you know he's not listening to anything anyone's telling him, because he's been literally saying the same shtick since the 80s.
Well, we did a review with Godless Engineer just the last couple of weeks on a debate he did just over 5 years ago now, and literally nothing was different. Like, not even an iota of difference, not even anything new whatsoever. Nothing.
Yeah.
He is stuck. Like, I've never seen a bigger rut that someone's been stuck in than that man. It's incredible.
Yep. And also, we can announce this here too, and I can promise you that this Thursday we're back to Baldur's Gate, you and I. I am up this time. It's been a couple weeks now, and I apologize for that. But this Thursday on our gaming channels, so for me, it's Electronic Boy Scout, and for Mark Reid, it's not Vector Slide anymore. Now it's
no, it is Vector Slide.
No, it is Vector Slide.
Yeah. So and currently I'm playing Lies of P, which is an incredibly hard game. Swearing and cursing at it. Not that bad, but it's not bad. It's a really cool setting. It's basically Dark Souls Pinocchio, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's good. And then I have Justin. That's sort of Justin got that for me. So he is a supporter of.
I didn't want to play it, but I wanted to see it played. So I put Mark. I'm torturing Mark with it and getting the enjoyment out of it.
No, I like it. I do like it. There's sort of we talk about suffering and things like that, like why suffering, and I sort of make a joke that I suffer, but there is something to be said about challenges and overcoming them, like how empty our lives would be if we didn't have challenges overcome them and actually sort of, do something that is challenges it. But there's a big separation between challenges and suffering, like true suffering with no benefit whatsoever.
And the sense of accomplishment from a tough challenge is significant compared to
absolutely.
You don't play too many video games, do you, Mike?
No, I've tried.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's totally cool. I just
my wife enjoys Animal Crossing. I know it's not the high intensity stuff that you guys do, but
I've got several hundred hours on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, so she absolutely loves that. I played it for a little while when we first got it, but I think it's just my generation. I'm just not. I'm a little older. Video games aren't my thing. So
well. You say that. Has anyone seen the guy that's what was it? The granddad gamer.
No.
He is obviously some kind of operator in the military who's retired, and he gets on COD and explains how to take sniper shots. He is terrifying, terrifying. Like he's obviously he has a background of taking people out and. It is horrifying how efficient.
I was kind of hoping I was going to pick up the Grandpa Gamer tag someday in another 10 years or so, but I guess someone was going to get there. Well, myself. So next week, so anyone here watching next week here on Skeptic Spin, we have Drew Beckius coming on, and next week will also be a special time. So it will be starting earlier than normal, so closer to 6:30 Eastern time, because that same day I'm going on Skeptic Haven with Secular Rarity, and we're going to take some phone calls and hopefully have some discussion with apologists. Hopefully, so that I'm looking forward to. It's going to be super fun. And then the week after that, I don't have a thumbnail for it yet, but November. I just want to make sure I get the date right. Yeah, November 10th. No, November 17th. So 2 weeks after that, there won't be a normal Skeptic Spin episode because I've got Octavio coming back to debate Grayson Hawk, which on evolution, which is going to be awesome. So you guys make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and do me a favor, do a little commenting in the comment section of our videos, please. Because those are nice to read, they're fun to react to, and it helps the algorithm get along. Now, if you are here watching, I know this was a tough time because Ember's also streaming right now.
Yeah.
Maya is going to be streaming shortly as well, and she just hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's awesome. So that's wicked for her. So I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to release you all from your loyalty to the Skeptic Spin.
Thank you all. Thanks
for coming. We are knocking on almost 400 subscribers here. We're at 391. So that's wicked. We're pushing, we're growing, and we're going to keep working at it. In the meantime, let's go support the rest of the community. And I don't have a way to redirect, but you're grown-ups. You can find your way to the channel you want to support and watch. So
which one do we want to go to? I'll drop it into the thing. Do you want to go to Maya's or Ember's?
Well, if Ember's still streaming, because I know Ember will end and redirect to Maya already too.
That's true. They will do the work for us.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's Ember's link. So just follow that link.
So Mark does not agree that you're old enough to get your own way over to the channel and has linked it for you.
Absolutely. No, well, I mean, you can, but, why, everyone's relaxed. No one wants to go searching for links and stuff. Come on now.
Hold on a second. Did you link
it?
Like, I don't see the link. It must have.
Oh, I'm not a mod on here. Oh, wow. I have no power to link. Wow. How rude.
Hold on. I can do it.
How rude.
Let's just. Better than Ember. I should subscribe.
Yeah.
I should subscribe to Ember.
There you go. It's in the private chat. Just copy and paste it in the private chat.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah,
I am subscribed to Ember. I just not on the Skeptic Spin account for some reason, which I should be. There we go.
Diddly done.
Diddly done. All right. Cool. Yeah. So head over to Ember, say hi, tell them that we did an awesome show and they need to step it up. Ha ha ha. No, but check out Ember, and then don't forget to congratulate. Everyone needs to congratulate Maya on 1,000 subscribers tonight, because I know I'm going to be over there to do just that later. And yeah, let's get out of here. I think today, Mike, it's your turn to take out the trash, and Mark, if you could just turn the lights off.
Am I the trash?
That would be
Did
great.
you just call me trash? Did you
No,
just
no,
call me
I would never call you
that's
to your face.
accurate.
I would never, ever
Accurate.
say that
Never to your face.
directly.
Look, I mean, I have my trashy moments. I got to admit, like, come on now, everybody's got a moment of trashy moments here and there. Come on, you got to get down in the dirt sometimes. You really do.
All right. Well, Mark, enjoy your Monday, and I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my Sunday.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
see
hope
everyone
so.
next week. And Mark, I'll see you on Thursday.
Will do.
All right. Have a good night.